What happened? Why is it
Oh,
like
you messed it
this?
up. Yes?
There's gotta be a caution. A
Why?
podcaster is on her side.
Probably a red
Actually,
flag. It got
Here,
actually,
it
hold
got
let
on,
me see
turned
if you
back
can fix
over.
it now.
hold on. It's got to be a red flag. All podcasters stop. Becca's on her side. We have a rollover. Our first rollover in
Ever.
podcast history.
You know what's kind of interesting? That's almost similar to Dylan Barnhart's role on Sunday. Welcome back, everyone, to the Track Packers podcast for episode 4 of season 5. We are finally into the racing season. We got racing to talk about, and we have a full cast here this episode with Mr. Jessup Pelkey, John Brecko, myself, Mason, and Becca returning to the lineup. Jessup, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great. It's another week. The weather's going to be questionable as always. Um, we'll see what happens here. Either Kayla or Mason must have been in town.
It's been a few days since I've been in town, but you never know.
John, what is the Mason effect usually?
I
About
think it's like
2 weeks?
well, it's like 2 weeks, but it's also like 900-mile radius. So even if Mason is like close by,
Yes.
it's still right there, especially during race season.
Mhm.
But plus, if you think about it, Mason hasn't been in town for a while, but there's probably still lingering showers because he lingers in places.
Apparently, we're supposed to get 1 to 3 inches of rain in the next 24 to 48 hours. So I'm assuming that may or may not have to do with something with Mr. Mason driving all about in our area.
From what I've gathered, y'all need it.
I
Not
don't
all of us.
understand.
Not all of us. Some parts of the state are
You say
just fine.
all.
That is true.
There's some very, very dry areas that I drove through this weekend, and they're like, we need some rain badly. So, hey, if you need rain, I'm happy to help contribute to the cause. John, how are you doing?
I'm in parts unknown again.
Very
So
unknown.
I'm traveling for work again this week, so I'm currently taping this from my hotel room. However, I'm doing quite well. I was excited for racing this past weekend to have a really good time at the racetrack, and I did have a really good time on the mic. Maybe a little bit too good of a time on the mic at times, but I still had a great time at the racetrack.
As long as you're having a good time at the racetrack, I think that's all that matters.
Mhm.
Becca, welcome back to the lineup. How have you been doing?
Uh, I've been taking care of my sick child, and now because she's been sick, now I'm sick. So I'm a little tired. I'm a little under the weather, and but I'm here.
Hey, just making it and getting the participation points, whatever it may be, that's important too. And so we love that we're back in the lineup, Becca. I am freshly back in my apartment from a long weekend travel out west, and it was nice to see all of you in some capacity. I did see Becca for a little bit. I did not see Riley though, unfortunately, which is kind of a bummer. So next time we'll have to make that a priority. And we want to thank all you watchers and listeners of the Track Packers podcast. Of course, we're right in the heart of racing season, so you're going to be seeing our faces quite a bit. Wanted to send a couple of shout outs to a couple of the listeners, including Marlis Schuler. We all know Marlis. Thank you for checking out the Track Packers. And also Cody, ooh boy, Shulsky. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that remotely correct, but thank you as well for watching the podcast as well. So what do you say we start the show with the waving or drop of the green flag and get right into who or what we are repping with Jessup starting us off?
Well, I'm rocking an old Scotty Gartner Zero hoodie, probably one that Becca and I have shared plenty of times. And I'm rocking my Austin Least hat. And that's really all I got right now because you don't want to see what else I'm wearing or not wearing.
All right. Hey, good gear that you're wearing, or that we can see at least. John, who or what are you repping in Parts Unknown?
So in Parts Unknown, I actually brought racing gear. Yes, they allowed me to bring this. So I am wearing a 15th annual John Seitz Memorial shirt from the River City Speedway. And who's on the back of the shirt? Who was the winner for the 14th annual John Seitz Memorial?
Okay, I gotta think of what year this is, because I think they're coming up on the 18th, or no?
You're only like the 20th.
It's the 20th this year, Mason.
Okay, so my math is bad right now. So this would have been 2021, the winner?
I just want to say Mason's
Aaron Trimble.
Yes, Becca is right. This was the second one that he won because this was the 2020 edition for the 14th annual on the back of the shirt. And Becca, I don't think you were there that year. You were there the year before when he won it. But Jessup was there that year because I believe it was Jessup, Mason, myself, and my mom that sat together in the grandstands. And that probably still goes down as one of the... There's been a lot of really good John Seitz Memorial features, but that was a really, really good John Seitz Memorial feature because it was Aaron Turnbull, who got across the border during COVID, which was impressive in itself. But he had to outduel Jesse Glenns, because Jesse, that was the first time he'd ever been at the sites, and he came from deep in the field. AJ Demo, who was coming hard on the bottom. And then we can't forget about Casey Meyer. Remember in the 0-3 machine for the late models? And Casey was running really hard during that race and closing in too. So that was a really good battle up front between, it was basically like a 5-car race.
Yeah, that was a really memorable one. And they've been those John Seitz races have been really, really good as of late. So looking forward to the 20th annual. I'm sure they got some cool stuff in the works for that.
Oh, yes. Well, remember, Mason, I think they made the announcement, didn't they? That last year. That, remember, it was going to be, I think it was, 10, was it going to be 10,000 to win? Was it going to be 10,092 to win? I don't remember off the top of my head. But it was supposed to be like 9,200 for second, and then maybe it was like 92 for second, and then it was like 9,200 for third. Remember, it was a really big payoff for late models this year.
I didn't look back on it, but yeah, you're right. They did announce that at the race last year.
Yep, like the top 3 were supposed to get really good payouts.
It's going to be a fun one to watch this year, and we're already looking forward to it at the beginning part of September. That's going to come up quick, too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool shirt, John. So I'm repping some fun gear. I'm repping Weston Olson on the hat because we're going to be talking a little bit about him later on in this episode. He had a pretty good start to this season, let's just say that. I found this fancy koozie. I don't know if any of you will recognize this koozie, but figure I'd rep this for the podcast this week. And one of the important subjects is not even looking at what koozie it is.
I know.
So he's going to miss out on what a koozie it is.
He's too busy trying to figure out Becca's computer.
The shirt that I'm repping is another winner from the weekend, Mr. Regan Reinke, who won in the NX Legends down in Brown County for their first official weekly race down there in 2026. Congrats, Regan, on the win. And so that is who or what I am repping for this episode. Which leaves us, Miss Becca Pelkey. Who or what are you repping?
Hang on.
Look what she's wearing, though, for the hat, Becca.
She repping.
I did a KFYR interview for Dacotah Speedway, and I wore this hat on camera. So, yeah, did some extra promotion for the podcast on Friday. Wearing this again tonight because I don't know why, bad hair day. I am repping, since it was the season opener for the Nodak Speedway, I thought I would represent Nodak regular. Haven't seen him in a while. Not sure where he's at these days. But how about the old Eric Lagenschlager, number 49. Last time we saw him, he was driving an IMCA modified. Haven't seen him behind the wheel. But Jerry used to be a very successful IMCA Sport Mod driver up at the Nodak Speedway and around western North Dakota. So, repping an old Eric Lachenschlager hoodie. Mason, this might look familiar to you.
It does look very familiar. Yes, I once had that in my stash of shirts. That's a really cool sweatshirt. Really warm, too.
It's very warm. That's why I like it. I wear it pretty often, actually.
Ooh, Mason, you should wear that when you go to the Pelkey's house downstairs.
I provided you a heated blanket, just in case.
Yes, the heated blanket added a nice extra layer. I didn't have to turn it on, thankfully, although I was out like a light once I hit the bed. Yeah, Eric I think he just ran a sport mod for a one-off race with Gabe Deshaw's spare sport mod, and otherwise, I see he sponsors a lot of the race vehicles in the Minot area with his Business Prairie coatings, but otherwise, not really sure what he's up to these days.
Not even sure where the car is. I'm assuming he still got the car. I don't think he sold it, but who knows?
Yeah, not sure. So, cool gear, and that is the who or what we are repping for this episode, and we'll move right into the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind and give a shout out to the 12S IMCA Modified driver Isaac Sondrol, who started his 2026 season last night at the Nodak Speedway as we're recording this on a Monday. Looked pretty solid, still kind of working out the kinks as far as the season goes, and finished in 6th place last night, so pretty good start to the season. You can follow his racing at 12S Racing on Facebook, and be sure to stop on by in the pits if you ever see him. He's one of the nicest people to talk to. He and his family are great supporters of us, and we want to thank him for supporting us on the podcast. Jessup, what do you have cooked up for this week's Hot Sauce Memory Rewind?
I have this.
Oh boy.
You got, oh my gosh, we're going to go through all of them.
All right, John. This is a speed round. First one.
John Sides.
I
Correct.
can't even see the picture.
Second one.
It's one something.
1W.
Tommy,
The Hibbing area.
yeah, what's his last name? Tommy something.
Wheeler?
No, not Wheeler, but Wazleski.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, going to the next one. Think quick.
Is that Mike Nutzman?
Nope.
That's the Harry Hansen trailer in the background.
That is the Harry Hansen trailer. This would probably be at the Western or the Lesotho 100.
Where is this driver from?
This, if I'm reading it right, is a... Oh, I'll give you... Oh, I can't say that. That would damage Becca.
Is it Lynn Lamb?
This person, this is your hint, this person may or may not be a relative of the individual that Becca may or may not have told. Yes, it is.
Lynn Lamb. Yep.
Next one. John, you already said this person.
Yeah, that's Mike Nutzman.
Next person.
Brady Smith.
Next person.
It's another 2, isn't it? Dave Kane.
No.
Next person.
Yeah, that's Dave Kane, yep.
We'll see how far we get.
I can't see the car. Darren Waldo?
I don't know. I don't know who this person is. It's a 2S.
It's not Skorcheski.
No. Oh, this is a pretty car.
That's Darren Waldo.
L2s.
That's Darren Waldo.
No, it's not.
It's not? Oh, that's so much colors.
Freent. Dave Freent.
Why are they L2s?
Because they're in order.
They're in order, Becca. Becca's like, I don't like this game.
Just what number is that?
That's a 2. 2M. 2M. Mike Meager.
I don't know who that is.
On the last one. I don't even know who this person is. Kind of a cool looking car, though.
Oh, I have no idea.
That one of the Carpenters?
This is Joe Bean.
Okay. I know.
Uh,
Oh, I know who Joe Dean is. He ran a zero modified for a while. I know who that
This
is
is-
too.
Starts with a D.
I got nothing.
Dan Arneson.
Yeah, when you said a D, I didn't recognize that driver.
Oh, here you go. Here's your.
Corey Wheeler.
There you go, John. And then, I don't know who this person is.
Dave T.
Myron Shockert?
Myron Shockert. That's
Shockert?
Myron Shockert
Yeah.
Wow.
in that one. Okay, that must have been one of his first years.
All right, we'll end with this is kind of an odd one, but we'll end with this one.
Oh, two.
Is that Jake?
Number
Is that Jake
02.
McBurdy?
No, I'm going to give you a hint. He still races. He's from the Wisconsin area. He's on. This is not his number currently.
Joey Jensen?
No. Think more of a national stage.
Oh, Brent Larson?
Yes. And we'll end it there.
Interesting.
And that is my rapid fire round. Unless you want to keep going, I got another couple hundred photos to get through.
Jessup, that had to be like 2000 and what? 4
Close. Good
3?
guess, John.
Or 5?
2003.
Okay.
And I will leave a little post-it note.
Becca,
That
here's a
could be quick.
NASCAR one for you.
JJ,
Good job.
Yes, that one was pretty easy, Mason.
I had the
What
biggest
was
crush
that?
on JJ Yeley growing up.
At least he was
Yeah,
good in the
yeah.
Busch.
Yeah, Cup Series, not so much.
Just like Justin Allgaier.
Uh,
Trevor Anderson.
very good. Can you name the year?
2013.
2015.
Okay,
Oh.
so it was closer.
Wow, John, you suck.
I know. I'll do better.
Don't get
Can
tricked.
John name the people in the background.
Travis Julie.
That's a
No, is that the Hughes car? Never mind. That is Travis Tooley after
That's
he
the Hughes
bought
car.
the Hughes car.
Yeah, that was
That's-
after he bought Jason Hughes'
Yeah.
car after the Mod Tour.
Yep.
I was say, did Jessup say Miles Tomlinson? Because I was waiting for that one.
Julie won in that
Yes.
car at one point.
Yeah, I did.
Is that the Hughes car?
Was that 2019? Is that the August 2019 victory?
I didn't see a year on this one.
It might have been, though, because that's the last time he won in Mandan was in 2019.
Okay, so now we're on to John's photos that he submitted. Okay, so
You got to
Three
name all
wide.
3.
the top 73 is Zach Johnson, middle is Ricky Weiss, and I'm going to guess the bottom is Corey Seekerson.
Yes, you are correct.
I was going to get one out of it.
It was one of the pole dashes at the Sites Memorial.
Oh. So, I didn't realize Corey has had previous experience in the late model.
Yeah, back in like the early 2010 era.
Okay.
End of 2000s into early 2010s. Yep.
I'm guessing this is a 2007 or 2008 photo.
No, I think that's probably like a 2009 or 10. One of the
Okay.
two.
I was going to say that.
It might be 10. I think it's 10.
Okay. So, this is Brock Gronwald.
And I want to know year, and I want to know driver, and I want to know event.
Well, I gave you the driver.
Yeah, you already gave me driver.
That's
Year.
Jamestown.
That's Jamestown.
Yep.
It's got to be the Stampede.
Yep. And then you guys got to know what year. What year did he win the Stampede?
He won it a lot of years.
I know he's won it 3 times.
Ah,
2000. Is that a modified?
No,
No,
that's
it's a
a
Midwest mod.
it was a
That
brand new
looks
J
early
car.
Midwest mod.
2003.
Becca's going back to her listing.
2003.
No,
2002.
Jeez,
no.
Mason, you're an idiot. 2003? Ugh,
I
who
mean,
would guess that? How
I
about
got you, Mason.
Why
Hold on.
don't you tell us, Becca, what the answer
You know
is?
what?
2008?
you know what? We could really throw a caution flag at both Mason and Jess and Becca. You know why?
2008.
Thank you, Becca. That is the right year. You know the reason why we could throw a caution at them? Because they didn't even run Midwest mods back in 2003 or 2002.
The
I
first
don't
time
know.
they ran one was in 2004. Everybody knows that.
Yes, but look at how full the grandstands are.
Hold that thought. Why would I know that? I don't follow B mods.
But
This
that's your
is my red
expert.
flag.
But
This
that's
is
your
my
name.
red flag.
You're the self-proclaimed B-mod expert.
Yeah, you said you.
No. I've never said I know everything about B mods.
This is
What
my
I do
red
know
flag.
is that they cause a lot of cautions.
Next one.
That's cans are meant.
No, I think. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. And then,
Oh,
I think it's Todd
is that a
Stark.
Yes, it is. What track, guys?
Casino.
Oh, yes, for
I
sure.
wouldn't know. I've never seen that track.
By the way, thank you to Cody Papke for all these great photos. I took them off of his Facebook page.
Nice.
Mason, speaking of Cody Papke, did you ever get the box of hero cards from
I
him?
did, yes.
Oh, you never shared. Interesting.
Just I'm so
Interesting. See
disappointed.
this, John? That's donations.
And Dave Reed.
Yes. What track?
Casino. I don't know.
No, it looks like
No.
North Central.
Princeton.
Nope.
I-94.
Yep, it's I-94 from what year?
Oh, really? That looks really
2000.
flat from here.
Well,
Jessup, you're really close.
really? 11?
11.
Hey, what year did 94 go to from dirt to asphalt and asphalt to dirt?
Eller told me this.
Yeah, when was it?
I know
Because
we've discussed this before.
well, and then it moved, remember? Because there was two I-94 speedways. One went to asphalt, and
Yeah.
then one went to dirt, and then the dirt one closed down, and then I-94 went back to dirt. In Fergus.
Yeah, the other track was in Sauk Center.
Yes.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I can look that up while we do this last one. Ooh. John Tesh on the inside.
Yup.
Is that Tony Liker on the outside?
Yup. And what track?
Is this the Western Wanderer?
No, this is Papke's.
Hmm.
All Papke's photos.
I see. My first guess is Huron, but it looks way too banked.
It is Huron.
Oh my gosh.
It was USMTS at Huron.
Okay. Nice finds.
That looks like a Western Wanderer photo.
No, this is when Cody Pack was basically starting out, I think, too.
I believe that night, if I'm not mistaken, I think Ken Arment won the USMTS feature that night.
Nice.
You know, that would have been basically the mid 2000s to late 2000s, and Arment was really, really good at that point in time.
Good photos there. Well, that'll do it for the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind. And then now it's time for our first official track pack report of the season. We want to give a shout out to our newest sponsor, Paul Bunyan Mini Storage out of Bemidji, Minnesota. Speaking of storage, I went home this past weekend and finally got one of my birthday/Christmas gifts. It's one of these things. You know what these are for?
Oh, more storage.
More storage for all of my hero cards. And believe it or not,
Good
I'm
need
getting
more than
close.
that. Better call.
Well, yeah, like this will probably be good for like a year's worth because like if you see the 2025 box, it's overflowing. But speaking of storage, you can go to Paul Bunyan Mini Storage over in Bemidji. They have all the different size units, whether you need to store just some of your winter stuff or winter activities, or if you need some vehicle storage, there's also room for that as well. You can store it all with Paul. Thank you, Dean Eggebraaten and the whole gang over there for supporting us and joining the track package this season. And best of luck on the racing season. I know he's getting ready to kick it off here pretty soon as well. So, we got a few races to talk about all across the state of North Dakota where at least one of us attended in some capacity throughout the weekend. So, we'll start with the first race in the state in 2026, Dacotah Speedway in their season opener. Now, Becca was staying at home taking care of Riley, but she was watching from home, and then myself, John, and Jessup were at the track. Jessup, do you have any takeaways from the season opener in Mandan?
It was very cold up on top of the bleachers.
Now, that's not necessarily true, because I was up on top of the bleachers and it was nice.
Yes, inside
He's
the tower.
not wrong.
You too. I thought we had a very nice field of cars, Mason. It was good to see a cool-looking field with travelers from all over the place. And it was cold.
It did get cold. At the end of the night, it got cold. As soon as the sun went down, it got really cold.
Yeah, and the wind kind of came up, especially the last couple of features.
The moment I knew we were back was when the hobby stocks didn't finish their feature. As per tradition, we timed out.
That'll happen, especially on the first race night. I'm sure there's some kinks to work out as far as people on the racetrack.
Sure.
John, what were your takeaways from Dacotah Speedway on Friday?
A great field of cars overall, 114 in the pits. Legends car count is still quite large at 43. Stock cars, a lot of brand new drivers in stock cars too. They were at 27. And track was in good shape. A lot of side-by-side racing all over the track. Definitely the first night was, though. You could definitely tell with the increased cautions on the first night. There was quite a few cautions the first night. And then the other thing is I had a great time at the tower. It was a lot of fun on Friday. Being up there announcing, and maybe I had, like I mentioned earlier, a little bit too much fun announcing at times.
Like I said earlier, if you're not having fun, what's the point? And I had fun myself. I got to roam around the pits for the first half of the night and then kind of sit up in the stands and kind of get a little chilly, like Jessup. I wasn't as chilly as he was, but it definitely wasn't the warmest. But hey, I think it was a pretty good solid night of racing, some really good feature events, and so we can get right into the results. Becca or John, which one of you wanted to do the results?
Becca, you want me to do the results?
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, I'll handle the results. So in the Slingshots had a little bit of problems getting going, but it was Caden Davenport who picked up where he left off last season and picked up the win over a hard-fought battle for second and third between two of the three now Keller sisters that are racing. So it was Haley Keller who picked up second and Libby Keller who was in third. So actually, it was kind of fun to interview those drivers in Victory Lane. Caden is very much... He doesn't like the mic, right? He says one word answers usually on the mic. But the Keller sisters, they were pretty talkative on the mic. They were pretty outgoing and talkative. So that was kind of fun to see. On the hobby stocks, they had a really good race, and it was a really, really good race up front, but a lot of beating and banging in the middle of the field, and then a controversial ending, if you think about it from that way, at the beginning of the field too. So up front, though, you had the drivers of Derek Appert, Josh Rourke, your defending champion. You had Brody Michelson up there, and Brody Michelson and Derek Appert were kind of going back and forth at several big events last year, with feature wins and then also with runner-ups and everything else. There was a caution. There was multiple cautions, but there was a caution that restacked the field back up with about, I would say, 5 to go, somewhere in that range. And the guy that was on the move, quietly moving up, was definitely Seth Howe Keller. Seth had started deeper in the field. I believe he started the feature event in 6th or 8th, and had been working his way up to the front. And at the time of that caution, it was Brody was leading, Seth Keller was in second, and Derek Appert was in third. Brody chose the front row, obviously Elias Lonesome, right for Delaware double. Seth chose the high side, and that put Appert to the bottom. Well, turn four had always been better on the bottom pretty much almost all night, especially for the hobby stocks. And coming out of turn four, Appert got a really good run on Michelson. They got together going into 1 and 2, and Michelson spun. Caution was charged to Michelson. At that point, they had reached their time limit. They were done. So you went back to the last completed lap, and a lot of people were like, oh, Appert won. That's not true. Appert was third at the last time around, and Seth Keller was second. Seth picked up the future win. So Seth picked up another future win to start the season, which good to see him back in victory lane after a strong finish to the 2025 season. Okay, so on to the Legends feature event. Legends were next on the docket, 43 cars, whittled down to 24 cars for the starting lineup, and almost some big carnage to begin that feature event when Tanner Hoffer and Austin Weiss got together on the front straightaway going into 1 and 2. And that could have been a major pileup. On the ensuing restart, it was Bo Miller who got into Austin Weiss going into 1 and 2, and another big carnage area to where we could have had a lot more cars involved in that one too. Once they started getting going, though, it was a battle up front. It was a really fun race to call between Donovan Weiss, the Madler brothers, Austin Weiss on the high side, along with Ty Olson on the high side, and Preston Martin, who started 12th, just working his way to the front. Preston looked really good on the high side. He was a little tight in 1 and 2, but he got around Austin coming out of turn 2 into 3 and 4, and ended up picking up the win over Gage Madler. Gage got second, Austin Weiss was third, and then a great battle back there between Bryce Barnhart, Donovan Weiss, and the rest of the field behind them for the top 5 into the top 10. Shout out to Gus Jensen. He was moving through the field. He started way deep in the field and ended up in the I believe like the 8th position, somewhere in that range. So really good run for Gus to end the night and start his season. And then we move on to the stock cars, 27 cars deep, started them all. And that was a fun race to call too, because there was a lot of moving and shaking up there. And I have to give a shout out to 2 drivers. Travis Ulmer looked really good all night in the 3 machine. Unfortunately, he broke actually with about a lap remaining and pulled off the front straightaway on the cooldown lap. And then it was very interesting to also give a shout out and watch Jeremy Hare. Jeremy drove the 95 stock car that typically we might see like Derek Appert in. And those 2 drivers were put on a show up front. They were battling back and forth for the lead. Nice to see both those drivers lead plenty of laps during that feature event. And then it was Jeff Hellman, who picked up where he left off for last year in the 54 machine, who worked his way through the field, got around Hare, and ended up picking up the first feature win for the 2026 season in the stock cars. Shout out as well to Andrew Yoakum. Yoakum was moving his way up throughout the field as well. Started deep in the field. I think he finished in the top 4. So that part was pretty cool to see with Andrew too. And obviously it was the Jeff Hellman and Matt Dosh show last year, and Dosh was third again on opening night. So it looks like it might be those 2 going at it again for the points championship here in the 2026 season. And then we ended the night with the modifieds. And the modifieds, pretty entertaining race up front. You had Marlon Seiler on the pole. We had 18 modifieds in attendance, and we had Marlon Seiler up there, who eventually had to deal with the likes of Travis Tooley and Sean Strand. Strand had worked his way through the field, but Tooley was on another level on Friday night. Got the lead from Seidler, held off all advances from Strand throughout the field, and pulled away there towards the end of that feature event to pick up his first win in Mandan since 2019. We've seen him in victory lane over at the Southwest Speedway with a couple track championships and some big wins over in Jamestown with the Don Gumke Racers Memorial and Stock Car Stampede back in 2023. But it was nice to see him back in victory lane in Dacotah Speedway in 2026. So that was opening night. So a lot of really good racing throughout the field.
Any other final takeaways from Dacotah Speedway's season opener?
I'm hoping it's a little warmer this week.
I have to say, watching from home with my child, it was so nice and cozy and warm. And I had a little beverage during the races. It was pretty nice. I personally could get used to watching it on DSTV. Nice job, Jessup. That camera work was spot on.
Becca, how was the sound coming through it too? Was it okay? I mean, there was
it sounded fine during all of the parts except the parts where you would get overly excited, like,
Carnage.
Carnage, and I don't know, the other things that you say sometimes.
I do a lot of sponsor plugs.
There was a little bit of questionable camera work during one of the Legend Heat races because I couldn't figure out how the tripod loosened up, but figured it out.
So Mason, tell me about your exploration north of the border.
Yes,
yeah,
Mason.
tell us about Estevan. I love Estevan.
Do you want to hear about?
They let you across the border, and they almost didn't let you back in.
No. It's the other way around. They almost didn't let me in. I got back just fine.
So why'd they hold you up?
So Estevan started at 3 in the afternoon their time, so 4 o'clock our time. So that meant with staying at the Pelkey Palace, I had a 4-hour drive up to Estevan. So I left mid-morning-ish, around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I can't remember exactly. So I get to the border. I didn't have time to stop at my parents' place to drop off the stuff that I had brought for the entire weekend. So I have all these bags and stuff in my car, and I'm like, oh boy, this might not be great. And yep, caution flag came out at the border. That's exactly what happened, Jessup.
Mid-morning? You didn't wake up until like 11:45.
That's not true, because I said at 10:30, like, oh, Mason wanted to be on the road by 11. He's not up yet. And then like 5 minutes later, he came
all the way to 11:45, John.
Wow.
No.
You got to get your priorities better.
4 p.m.
Nathan, I know you. You woke up at 10:30.
I woke up at 10:30, and I was pretty much out the door within 25, 30 minutes.
I got you.
Thank you. Yeah. 30 minutes wasted at the border because I went through a full detainment and had to give my life story to the Canadian folks. They're like, well, this is suspicious that you have all this stuff for just a small day trip. And I'm like,
I mean, it makes sense, Mason. I mean, I'm surprised you don't get questioned more often, especially like when you go even to Dickinson.
Or when you go to Iowa.
Well, the problem with Iowa is I'd rather go through the experience I did in Canada, where at least I get the live questioning, versus Iowa, where I get basically interrogated 3 weeks after the fact, and I'm like, how the heck am I going to fix this? Anyways, good times. I did make it successfully across the border, albeit a 30-minute ordeal. Got to the track after hot laps were completed, and they were ready to kick things off at 3 o'clock. They had the regular classes to start off the season: slingshots, IMCA modifieds, IMCA sport mods, IMCA hobbies, and IMCA stock cars. Pretty solid counts in most of the classes, especially stock cars, 23 stock cars, which is really, really good to see. And got through the heats pretty clean, got the feature races going. Sport mods kicked it off. Great battle up front. It was Keenan Glosser, one of the local standouts up there, but he had to try to hold off a hard-charging Stan Tomlinson, and Stan actually made the race winning pass with just a few laps to go to get his second win of the season, because he actually got a feature win earlier this season in Colorado. So he's got that new car all hooked up, so congratulations to Stan Tomlinson on the win there. Up next were your slingshots, and they get to run on the big track, and kind of like Dacotah Speedway, they pick up some pretty good speeds around there. And it was Hudson Man that checked out right away, and no one could catch him, even with the late race restart. Eli Turbo tried to run him down and couldn't do it, so Hudson Man gets the season opening win up in Estevan. Then it was your IMCA stock cars, all 23 cars making the call for that one, and that was also a very entertaining race. We had the likes of Brendan Labatt, along with Chase Davidson, Caden Jortland, and Kyle Schopp duking it out. And it was Kyle Schopp who came from 7th starting spot and holding off multiple charges from Brendan Labatt. They were all fighting for the same groove, but they would all kind of mess up at different times. So they would interchange the lead quite a few times throughout the race. It's kind of fun to watch to see who could have a clean lap and who couldn't. So Kyle Schopp got the feature win in front of Labatt and Davidson. Then it was your IMCA modifieds. Just 12 IMCA modifieds on hand, but it's a who's who of modifieds. We have Travis Hagan, Marcus Tomlinson, and Cody Schopp, along with rookie standout Gabe Deshaw, who's really getting the hang of that IMCA modified right away. And Cody Schopp got to the front of the pack pretty quick around Gabe Deshaw. And even with Travis Hagan lurking, as after Travis actually spun on his own early in the race, had to go to the rear, He came all the way up to second, got within about 4 or 5 car lengths at the end, but Cody Schulp hung on to get the feature win there. So great run to start the season for Cody Schulp. And then your race of the day was in your IMCA hobby stocks, as the track had really slicked off. And in my opinion, when the track slicks off, hobby stocks put on a great show, because there was a very, very thin cushion at the top of the track, and then you had some moisture down at the bottom still. You had Pat Smith starting on the front row. He was trying to hold on to the lead while Diesel Raynard was making the high side work. And then he took the lead with about 5 to go and then blew it off the top of turn 1 and 2. So then it was like clear sailing for Pat. Well, here comes Riley Mann with just a couple laps to go, and he gets alongside and he pushes it off with a lap and a half to go. And one last charge, Pat Smith held off Riley Mann at the finish to get his first IMCA Racing feature win. So big congrats out to Pat Smith, and that was a great celebration in Victory Lane. So very, very fun day racing in Estevan. Of course, day racing comes with its challenges. Kudos to the track prep crew for having the track in pretty good condition considering the elements, and it was, of course, windy and cool. And we were done by about 6, a little after 6 o'clock their time, and got home at a decent time. So not a bad way to start the season. So that was your night up or day racing up in Estevan, and then the night finished off at the Playground of Power for the Nodak Speedway season opener with the NOSA sprint cars on hand, and they also had a very solid field of cars there to kick off the season there. Weather at the start of the night was okay. It was sunny and it was still windy, and then for some reason, of course, with it being the beginning of May, you never know what the weather's going to do. We actually had a few showers roll through. Didn't really hinder the racing at all. It just made the track fast for a couple extra heat races. But then we had a really weird wind gust that came through for about 15-20 minutes just as the sprint cars were going to enter the track for their feature. And they actually had to take the sprint cars off while they kind of molded a decision on whether they were even going to run their feature race. And so the hobby stocks came and ran their feature, and then by that time that they were done, the wind had died down, so the sprint cars were able to get their feature racing in. But definitely an interesting weather night on Sunday at the Nodak Speedway. They had 92 total cars. They had the sport mods kick it off with 19 entries and another solid race up front. Keenan Glosser trying to get the win again on Sunday, and he had to work hard to pass Robbie Roselli. And Robbie, of course, racing in honor of his good friend Scott Lovejoy, who he lost a few weeks ago, and I know he was gunning hard for that win. And Keenan worked him over for lap after lap and made the winning sprinting pass with just a couple laps to go. And Keenan Glosser was your Sport Mod feature winner on night number 1. Then your stock cars had another solid field of 18 cars on hand as well. And the track was really fast. There was a little bit of a cushion, so everyone was kind of fighting for that cushion line throughout the race. And it was a pair of Canadians that were duking it out. Kyle Schulp, who won on Saturday, and Caden Yortland, who was in his sophomore season in the 98H. And they were nose to tail, side by side for multiple laps. And then Kyle made just one little slip up, and that was all it took for Caden to get by with just a few laps to go. And Caden got the feature win in the IMCA stock cars. So a great start to the season for him in the 98H. So then the hobby stocks came up next. They had a full field, 24 cars, a lot of rookie drivers. That's really cool to see a lot of the new faces in that division. And Caden Appelt, who started on the front row, who's always one of the top drivers in the area, he started to set sail in the field, but then Cash Sachs in the 99, tracking him down quite a bit, tried to make several advances around him, maybe a slide job or two, but Caden was calm, cool, and collected, and he got the feature win on opening night. Much better outcome than a lot of other opening nights for Caden. I know he's had some bad luck to start seasons in the last few years, and so I'm sure it felt good to get that win. Then your NOSA sprint cars came out on the track. 19 sprint cars, so good field for their season opener. It was Jade Hastings and Brennan Mullins setting sail on the field to start with, and Jade Hastings checked out. He had over a 7-second lead until the first caution waved. And then as the cautions kind of played out, Weston Olsen, the 27 car, was moving up through the field. And unfortunately for Jade Hastings, he actually hooked a rut and blew his right front tire off. And so that unfortunately ended his run at victory for the 8H. And so hand the lead over to Weston Olsen, and he went on to get the feature win. So congratulations to the 27 car on the season opening win. And then your IMCA Modifieds finished off racing action. When you have the dark horse Travis Hagen starting on the front row, it's going to be tough to beat him. And gave a shot starting alongside him, and they duked it out for the first few laps. There was a lot of slide jobs and crossovers taking place, but once Travis got out in front, it was pretty much clear sailing from there. And the Dark Horse gets the feature win at Nodak in front of Marcus Tomlinson, who started in the back row in 11th and got all the way up to second. So great run for Marcus as well. And that was your season opening night at the Nodak Speedway and our first track pack report of the 2026 season. So now with our first weekend in the books, what races are upcoming next, Mr. Dacotah Dirt?
Don't say anything, John. The website's all but dead.
Hence why my lips are sealed.
But we do have a calendar. Not on the website, because apparently the website says that's too hard to update. Anyways, this weekend, Friday the 8th, we have Dacotah Speedway with weekly racing. Also on Friday the 8th, actually, they won't be racing. They will be having a test and tune. Is River City. That'll be pushed to, what was it?
Saturday.
Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
Saturday afternoon. So, Saturday the 9th, looks like Devil's Lake Speedway is kicking off the Renegade season opener for the wingless sprints there. They've got all their normal classes, so streets, mid-mods, and pure stocks, so should be a nice night for them. And then you'll have the Williston Basin Speedway. They will be, let's see what we got going for them. Season opener, along with band night, along with all their normal weekly classes, such as IMCA mods, stock cars, sport mods, hobby stocks, and slingshots. Closing out the week, on the 10th will be the Nodak Speedway with the Mother's Day special, and they got all their IMCA classes racing that weekend with the modified stock cars, sport mods, hobby stocks, and John's favorite class, the sport compacts.
Indeed. So a couple more tracks, or at least one more, is setting to open in the state of North Dakota, with Williston taking that in on Saturday. We have a few more tracks opening outside of the state of North Dakota, but on Friday, let's see, we have Brown County Speedway with our second race of the year, along with Fiesta City Speedway. Norman County just postponed their race, so they'll be opening the following week. I-94 is going to be slated to open up on Friday the 8th as well, and then Princeton, with their fifth or sixth attempt, is going to try to kick off their season. I think it's their 70th year, so
yep.
So they've been really jumping at the bit to open up, and so hopefully they get to do that, as well as the Red Cedar Speedway will be racing on their second night. On Saturday the 9th, looks like we got Cedar Lake Speedway running once again. We also have North Central Speedway and Brainerd racing their second night, and Ogilvie Raceway, Rice Lake Speedway also running. And then on Sunday the 10th, Mother's Day, happy early Mother's Day to everyone out there. Casino Speedway slated to open up their season. Granite City Motor Park racing on their second night, and then also a little bit out of our region, a little bit, but Huset's going to open up as well. So a few more tracks slated to open up on the season, and hopefully Mother Nature plays nice, so a lot of people who have been itching to start the season can do so. We will now display the white flag and give a shout out to our good friend Brody Carlsrud of the B1 IMCA stock car out of Glendon, Minnesota. He's been chomping at the bit to get racing underway. I know he was hoping to come over for the Mandan Meltdown, but unfortunately that did not happen. So still got a little time before we see the B1 on the track, but you never know where he'll pop up. Follow his racing at Brody Carlsrud B1 Racing on Facebook and his podcast, The Real Deal with B1, to get a behind-the-scenes look at all of his racing. So thank you, Brody, for your support on the podcast as well. It's the first edition of Wins of the Week. Who's got Wins of the Week? Jessup, since you're starting on the poll for this episode, what are your Wins of the Week?
People who won, Mason, people who won.
They don't all have to be like winning features. They could be any...
Adding another person to my 8 people.
8 people. Let's max it out at 3. So you save some for the rest of the crowd.
No. All right, so I'm going to start my 8 people with Travis Tooley. He'll pick up my first win. That was his first win at Dacotah Speedway since 2019. So, tip of the cap. Congratulations. Let's see here. My second one is going to be Caden Hortland with the stock car feature win over at the Nodak Speedway. He that should be his second one in the last year or two.
I think he's won at least
I
one
don't
up in
know
Estevan.
last
I
year.
think he won one up in Estevan last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was the June 6th race. Could be a day or two off, but it's around there. And then let's see here. I'll go. Well, I have two good ones here, but I'll go with. They're all good ones, but I'll go with Cole Searing picking up the late model feature win at the Dacotah State Fair Speedway, and he started eighth and went to first, so that's pretty solid. And that's the first full-time season return race.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
pretty big deal there.
Absolutely. Good set of wins to start off. John, what are your wins of the week?
My first one of the week is going to go to Jaden Bogue, who picked up a feature win down at the Dacotah State Fair Speedway in Huron this past weekend as well, on the return of full-time racing, and that is his first win at his home track. So kind of cool to see that Jaden was in victory lane with that. Second win has to go to Cole Gresseth, who's already 2 for 2 to start his season. So he picked up the win down at Aberdeen on Friday and picked the win up in Devil's Lake on Saturday. So good job to them. And then my last win, I'm going to head over to the Ogilvie Speedway, and Cole Boston put it into victory lane in the 33C machine. So congratulations, Cole, on a huge win over in Ogilvie.
And that's already, I think, his second win of the year because he won in Cedar Lake.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, he's getting used to that Minnesota A mod pretty darn quick.
Yep.
My three wins of the week. I will give another shout out to Pat Smith in number 16, his first IMCA racing win. He's won in the Wissota ranks before, I believe, in the street stocks when, of course, we raced over in Botno. But very elated in victory lane. He had a great solid run on Sunday as well, finishing the top 5 at Nodak. So big shout out to Pat Smith on the great weekend. Second win, I'm going to give it to another IMCA hobby stock driver. He's a rookie in the division, Zach Eubanks. Won his heat on Sunday at the Nodak Speedway and then also finished in the top 5. So great start to his rookie campaign out of the gate for the 27Z hobby stock. And then my third win of the week is kind of a fun one, but I'm going to give it to the Wissota Hornets in Minnesota. They had 3 excellent races this past weekend. If you haven't seen it, go to Dirt Race Central, watch the highlights. Great race in Fiesta City Speedway on Friday. Ogilvie was a barn burner, and Granite City was also a great one. They put on great racing, and so that's actually going to be a fun national points battle too, because there's a lot of good competition there.
Yep. Yeah, especially considering when other tracks even start up as well that are running the Wissota Hornets, will be a lot of fun.
So those are my 3 wins of the week. And Becca, who are your wins of the week?
All right. I have an electric car this week, and it's going to die very quickly. So I'll keep this brief. First win of the week goes to Seth Keller, who picked up the feature at Dacotah Speedway in the hobby stock division. He went winless last season, so it's good to see him return back to victory lane at the Dacotah Speedway. Second win of the week goes to Gabe Deshaw. This is his first full-time season in the IMCA Modifieds. He had a good, solid first weekend out in that new race car for him. He had a 12th place finish at Dacotah Speedway, a 3rd place finish at the Estevan Motor Speedway, and a 3rd place finish at the Nodak Speedway. And so, yeah, I think he's going to have a pretty okay season in that modified, and I would venture out to say that he might pick up a victory this year in that modified. He looked pretty darn fast in test and tune, and he looks pretty darn fast on the track with the other race cars as well. So congrats to Gabe Deshaw for a good first weekend in the IMCA modified. And my third and final win of the week goes to Bart Starr, who picked up a pair of wins over at Big Sky Speedway. He looked pretty damn fine in that 369, and I just wanted to say that because, you know, the song and whatnot. But congrats to Bart Starr for picking up the 2 wins at the Big Sky Speedway.
I wonder if he
in the
wants to
369. Damn good time. Yeah.
Does he run the low groove? Does he get low, get low, get low?
I see what you did there. Neat.
Excellent ones, Becca. And just think, if you're running an electric car, soon you're going to be competitive in the O'Reilly Auto Parts series.
Absolutely.
All right, gotta go. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us, Becca. Well, so that'll do it for wins of the week. Any closing thoughts or any latest and greatest paint schemes you want to give a shout out before we close out the episode?
Ooh, yes, I've got a couple that I really like for paint schemes. Bart Taylor, not Bart Starr.
There's no Bart Starr. There's one in Alabama here.
I was ready for this too, Jessica. I was really ready for this.
She sent
I
me
was
her
like,
list,
hoping
and I
she
was
was
like,
going to explain it. And I'm like, wait, what?
But-
Bart Taylor in the
Bart
369.
Taylor.
I'll allow it. She's already in the back.
She's already in the back.
Actually,
Oh.
she's in the pits. She rolled twice tonight.
That is very true.
Yeah, she tipped over on her side quite a bit.
I really like 3 new schemes. I like Jeff Ware's 83 stock car out of Nebraska. That turned out really nice with the fluorescent and gray or silver in that scheme. Looks really good with a fluorescent green. I really like Andy Rosso's Wissota street stock for this year. I really like that design with the pink and the white in there, as well as with the black. So those two I think are really nice. And I also like Maria Brozic's street stock, her new scheme. I also like that scheme too. That scheme's pretty sharp.
Those are 3 solid schemes, and they look very, very sharp. Jessup, you got any latest and greatest schemes? I got a couple.
I mean, I can look at some and say yes. John Topazzini's from Thunder Bay, his modified looks pretty slick. And then let's take a look. Who did you send here?
I've sent a lot.
Is Kelsey Peterson the 93
Yes. And
I
that's
like
pretty.
model? That's nice. And then who else do we got here? The 55 late model with two-tone. That one, Mason. The
Clayton
55.
Hoff, Teague's USRA late model. All right.
No. I'm joking. Oh, gosh.
I thought maybe it was that Sport Compact I sent you, Jessup. The Hornet from Casino in the car show.
Oh, gosh. Zach's super stock looks nice.
Zach.
Dennis Zek.
Yes, I like the red.
Zek.
I like the red knit. Yep.
Yes.
And then Gerke's modified looks nice.
Gerke's mod looks really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say my 3 this week, the 10K Devin Schultz, Wissota Street Stock driver out of Minnesota. That one looks really cool. I like the color combination there. I do like Levi Runge's IMCA Sport mod. It's a bright blue and yellow. That is a really, really bright looking car, and it looked really good. He had a pretty good run this weekend as well. And then I'll give one more shout out to Wes Olson. His sprint car looks very, very nice. Different scheme from previous years, and looks really good, and it looks really good in Victory Lane too. So those are my schemes this week. Any other closing thoughts as we close out the show?
I'm excited for another week of racing.
Same, although I'm only going to get 2 nights of racing in this weekend.
Ooh, I might get 2 as well. Depends on timing.
Oh, I will be
Yes.
watching all the racing on TV.
Yes, you might be home this weekend, Jessup. Well, that'll do it for episode 4 of season 5 of the Track Packers podcast. As always, be sure to like, share, and comment, and let us know who's all watching this show with you. Thank you to our sponsors, The Real Deal with B1 Brody Carlsrud, Paul Bunyan Mini Storage out of Bemidji, and Isaac Hot Sauce Sondrol. The first weekend of racing for us is in the books. We hope many more are able to experience racing in 2026, and we'll see you out there packing the track.